In this presentation, we will cover the basic anatomy of the 2000 HD sound system, drivers, and amplifiers. The Sportsound 2000 HD sound system is Daktronics' largest standard outdoor sound system. Utilizing digital audio transport to deliver crystal clear speech as well as powerful full-range music, the 2000 HD sound cabinet is the ideal choice sound system for a baseball field or mid-sized football, soccer stadium of up to 20,000 seats from end zone to end zone. The 2000 HD is a standard point source sound system that can easily integrate with any video or scoreboard as well as stand proudly on its own. The 2000 HD requires just 3 power circuits and accepts a flexible range of power, which allow it to fit well in most mid-size outdoor sports venues, domestic or international. Keep in mind that this presentation covers the 2000 HD sound system only. Audio control, such as mixers, microphones, and CD players, will not be covered in this presentation. Daktronics can provide several of these options for audio control. If you are interested in learning more about them, please speak to one of our knowledgeable salespeople. The Sportsound 2000 HD speaker cabinet is a high-power, self-contained point source speaker system which measures 22 feet wide, 6 feet high, and 3.5 feet deep. Power and signal field connections are housed within the onboard control enclosure located just inside the rear access door. The high-mid frequency section has anywhere from 0 to 15 degrees of vertical adjustment in 3-degree increments. During installation, the high-mid frequency section must be adjusted for optimal venue coverage and then locked into place. The rear view of the speaker cabinet shows the access doors for power signal enclosure connections, service of amplifiers, as well as service of the high and mid-frequency speaker drivers. Access to adjustment of the high-mid frequency section is gained through the rear access doors, and rotating in the high-mid requires only a 3/4 inch wrench. High-mid frequency section rotation is a crucial part of setting up a sound system and must be field adjusted during installation to properly cover the venue using drawing 102-3805. Service of high and mid-frequency speaker drivers is provided through the rear access doors of the 2000 HD cabinet. The drivers are easily accessed through removable rear access panels on each speaker. These panels are weather sealed with silicone and must be cut with a razor along the perimeter. They're fastened with 5/32" hex machine screws and can be removed with an Allen wrench or a hex bit mounted on a drill driver. Replacement of the mid-frequency driver requires a 3/16" hex bit or Allen wrench for the 4 machine screws per driver. High-frequency drivers are mounted with 4 threaded studs facing forward, fastened with 10mm nuts. A ratcheting wrench will help make the job much easier. After replacing the driver, the panel must be replaced and the joint must be resealed with silicone. Sportsound 2000 HD sound systems manufactured after April of 2014 allow service of the low-frequency drivers from the rear access doors of the 2000 HD cabinet. The drivers are easily accessed through removable rear access panels on each speaker. These panels are weather sealed with silicone and must be cut with a razor along the perimeter. They are fastened with 5/32" hex machine screws and can be removed with an Allen wrench or a hex bit mounted on the drill driver. Replacing the low-frequency driver requires removing the 8 machine screws with a 3/16" hex key or Allen wrench. After replacing the driver, the panel must be replaced and the joint must be resealed with silicone. Sportsound 2000 HD sound systems manufactured prior to April of 2014 allow service of the low-frequency drivers from the front. Access is achieved by removing the mesh frame of the 2000 HD cabinet. This requires a 9/16" socket to access the bolts that fasten the frame. The low-frequency speaker grill must also be removed. This grill is weather sealed with silicone, so it must first be cut with a razor along the perimeter and unscrewed using a No. 2 Phillips screwdriver. Replacing the low-frequency driver requires removing the 8 machine screws with a 3/16" hex bit or Allen wrench. Using a hex bit mounted on a cordless drill driver will make this much easier. Replace the speaker grill and apply silicone to reseal the perimeter. Then replace the 2000 HD speaker cabinet mesh. Amplifier service is achieved through the rear access doors of the 2000 HD cabinet. Amplifiers are mounted using No. 2 Phillips screws and are quickly removed with a cordless drill driver. All amplifier jacks are keyed, so there is only one correct connection per cable. On the 2000 HD, the mid-frequency cabinets are close together. Use a stubby number 2 Phillips screwdriver for the close quarters on the mid-frequency cabinets. Each speaker cabinet, high, mid, and low, are considered a self-powered speaker, meaning the speaker has a built-in amplifier module. In the 1500 and 2000 HD, most amplifiers are 2-channel modules. The amplifier's power is provided to the speakers via connection with a white 6-pin Molex connector with a pin out on each amplifier as follows. Channel 1, lower right 2 positions, and Channel 2, the left 2 positions. Schematic drawing 1082599 contains all wiring information for the 2000 HD. The control enclosure is an essential piece in all Daktronics standard audio systems, as this is the weather protective housing for all power and signal connections, as well as a fiber optic Ethernet switch. The control enclosure in the 1500 and 2000 HD systems slightly differ from the control enclosure of the 500 HD sound system. First, the control enclosure in the 2000 HD is smaller in size, so it is housed within the cabinet itself. Second, the 2000 HD control enclosure contains only power and signal connection points, whereas the 500 HD control enclosure contains amplifiers as well. The control enclosure is accessed via the rear access door located on the far right as viewed from the rear of the speaker cabinet. Accessing components and connections within the enclosure is as easy as a quarter turn of both latches done with either a flathead screwdriver or coin. The control enclosure is partitioned for low voltage signal components, the fiber conversion network switch, and audio isolation transformer, with a separated compartment for high voltage connections and power supply. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you have further questions about our products, please contact a Daktronics audio representative. Feel free to view our other videos and troubleshooting documents available at daktronics.com/support, keyword Sportsound.